we're going into Cowboy Bebop, the animated series review. So, alright, Cowboy Bebop is a legendary series in the anime world, right? Eli hasn't seen it. Tristan hasn't seen it. I watched it when I was a child. Never rewatched it, right? I remember a decent bit of bits and pieces here and there. Never rewatched it though. So this is real interesting for me to go back through and see this show as a young adult. It must have been interesting for Tristan, who's an elderly man. But I let him rock
every time.
But we'll say this. I will say this about the storytelling of Cowboy Bebop. It's not traditional plotline.
No.
It's more the characters themselves are the plotline. So if you find us not talking about an overarching plot, it's because there's not a lot of it. That's it.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
So, to get into it, I love 90s anime aesthetic. I don't know if it's a nostalgia thing or what, but that filter, the lines, the color palette of this show, the music.
The music, dude.
Magnifique.
I did enjoy the music, yes.
But yeah, so for you guys, did you guys like the 90s anime aesthetic or not so much? Because I know both you guys are newer anime fans.
I don't know. It's not the worst thing in the world. I do prefer the newer style. And it doesn't even have to be like new, like Demon Slayer new. But like, because I enjoyed, Hunter x Hunter, even though that's not old, not new, But I do not prefer like the 90s style anime. But
I was personally kind of into it. It felt less like an anime because of the style, in my opinion. Like, it felt more, and maybe it's also just because I watched the dub and everything. It felt more like a regular cartoon than an anime.
It did. No, I'd agree.
But I had a good time with it. I liked the style overall. I thought it was pretty well done, especially for the fact that this came out in like 99. So I was very pleased with that part, the artistic styles, and again the music, which was so good.
Yeah, the music, that's not negotiable. The music in this shit's fire.
Oh, 100%.
The opening to this, all-time opening. All-time anime opening. Everyone loves this one.
See, I liked the outro song more, to be honest.
That's fair. That one's more like a cinematic, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not saying that the intro wasn't good. I did really enjoy the music. I just prefer the outro song.
A little sax piece, dude. I'm always good with a nice sax piece.
And the animation to go along with it, with the colors and the out silhouettes. Classic stuff right there. So, starting off episode 1, we meet our initial cast. Wait till you hear this exciting list of multiple names. We got Spike, and you got Jet. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
They start you off with 2 characters, and that's it. And boy, you get attached to these 2 characters and their story. All right? Big fan of Spike myself. I can't speak for you guys, but
Spike
I'm a
is
Spike
awesome.
guy.
Spike was cool.
Fantastic.
It took me a while to get into any of the characters, so I'm going to be honest. I think Faye was actually the first one I actually had any sort of care about her backstory. But that's just because there wasn't, like you said, not really an overarching plot, so there was nothing but character to really have significance, I guess.
Yes, sir.
I was going to say, sorry. I personally very much enjoyed Jet throughout the entire series. I thought Jet was a great secondary character, I guess. Because he's a main character, but he wasn't the main character. So
I'd agree. Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Jet the entire series.
He was a great foil to Spike because Jet's so laid back, so wise, so knowledgeable, and you got Spike who's carefree and careless. You know what I mean? He just kind of goes with the flow. Like he tells Homie in the one episode, man, just be like water, baby. Classic Bruce Lee quote. So the first episode, just a simple bounty job. Spike has to get this dude who's shooting Vaseline. No, that's not it. Visine. There we go. Visine into his eyeballs to give him superpowers. He fights Visine Man. He wins. The girl blows out the Visine Man's brain, and then they leave.
Yeah,
that's about it.
With no money.
I was very, I don't know, like I said, it took me a while, but I was very confused on the plot line. I was like, what is going on? And then eventually I was like, oh, nothing's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
That was me at first.
I was like,
as well.
okay, I would say once I got over that hump, and that was like half through the season. Like I was not understanding for like half it in my dummy brain, but once I got over that, it started making a lot more sense, and I enjoyed it more after that.
Yeah, so a lot of the early parts is like, who are the fuck are these people? They're like, you're just gonna have to find out through what they do. Like, you just have to find out by their actions. And then you start to learn that the storyline is the past kind of thing.
Yes.
So so they don't get the bounty in this episode. Classic theme throughout the show.
So it's very recurring
They do not get very many bounties in this series.
for how much work they do.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a lot of work.
So episode 2, we get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but they call him Abdul Hakim.
Oh, wow.
That was definitely supposed to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We can play like it's not, but it was. Because Abdul Hakim, big, tall, black dude with an afro like Buck's Kareem. Come on, bro. Don't call me racist. So we get... This dude was fighting like Bruce Lee, bro. He was fighting like the Way of the Dragon. That was dope. Spike also fights like Jeet Kune Do, so that's cool to see Spike, fight people all the time.
That man absolutely deleted a couple fools at the beginning of this episode, and I was excited.
Hey, man. He does be deleting people with his hands combat. And then we get introduced to one of the best characters in the series. Ein.
Ein!
Yes, Ein.
Who doesn't love Ein, man? As he gets the dog, you find out it's a data dog. And then they go, what the fuck's a data dog? Nothing for you guys, because they end up keeping the dog.
Yeah.
And Spike tells him, I hate women and children.
And animals.
I would say and dogs
animals,
now.
yeah.
Yep.
And so we got an animal now. So what do we need to add to our Pokemon collection? A woman.
Yay.
And a child. But we get the woman first. We meet Faye Valentine. I wrote my Valentine, but that's Yu-Gi-Oh! That's my bad.
That was the exact
No, for shoot. That's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Character.
No, I know.
Okay.
No, but he was trying to go somewhere with that. I could tell. No, I'm not saying that. I'll say that later.
Yeah. Oh, this was episode 3, right? I
yes,
said
sir.
They're in the casino. I said Tristan's having withdrawals right now. He's out here recording with us instead of the casino himself.
The 39-year-old casino gambling addict.
Dude, my God.
Pushing the slots.
He uses he uses the podcast money to pay for his habits.
He
What?
does.
It's a sad.
What money?
Hey, you're not supposed to say that on air. So
please give us money.
Who is actually a gambling degenerate. She must earn her money back, and I thought, whoa, they're about to force her into slavery of the sexual variety. They did not. They did work slavery, so she now has to do casino teams because she's a good cheater at casino stuff. Spike is very, very good at casino stuff, though, to the point where Jet tells him, do not do your normal bullshit here. I would like to leave with my kneecaps today. And he says, why'd you bring me here then? He says, because I want to win money. And he says, well, okay. So Spike purposely loses a bunch of his money at the table. He goes down to 1 chip because Faye was told that a man that looks kind of like Spike was going to come to her table, lose a bunch of money, and the final chip he was going to tip her with. Well, Spike comes out to 1 chip, he goes, I'm leaving. Faye continues to freak out, chase him down, only to find out that was not the actual man. Spike and the actual man clash, both swap chips. Spike won't give her the chip. Shit hits the fan. They gotta escape or fight off casino people. They do. But then they find out Faye has a bounty. They try to turn her in. She escapes on one of their escape pods. She's gone from now.
No, so probably a good thing too. She ended up being a very helpful character.
Yeah, that's for true.
I mean, not at the beginning, but towards later, yes.
Yes.
So, episode 4, or as I call it, space terrorism.
Oh, man.
PETA beyond that bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah, so PETA was just straight up ran out on a dude with an AK, lit him up, just took him down, took off. Spike captures their leader. Okay, she has a huge bounty. Well, guess what? You can't cash it in because she hacked the system and threatened them with monkey virus. What kind of virus is monkey virus? It turns people to monkeys.
It is
Yes,
a monkey
course.
virus.
It's virus of monkey.
And then who they need to do stop this virus? They need Faye. So they find Faye. Then they defeat the animal rights squad, and she joins the gang. So now we're down to man, woman, animal.
Dog. Yes. For now.
For now.
Oh,
So, this episode is episode 5. I'm going to need some help here because I just have a bunch of notes that don't tell me much about the plot of this one.
I was going to say, I don't have much for plot of any of these
I
episodes, to
don't
be
have
honest.
much
I
at
just
all
kind of
for
watched. Like, yeah, I literally, like I said, I didn't really know what was going on for the most part. Like, I was just kind of trying to understand the characters.
I do know this one. This is the first episode where we see Vicious, I believe.
yes.
So
It might have been.
It is. It's the first time we see Vicious. We see Spike start acting weirder than normal. He goes in, stuff happens, they shoot Spike in the chest. I think that's the end of this episode. This episode's where I said I like the relationship between Spike and Faye, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're very playful with each other. They very much don't like each other. Well, they do and they don't, right? Like, Spike's just a playful asshole, period.
Yeah.
Faye is an asshole as well. So when you take two assholes and you both try to make them be friends, they're going to be, sarcastic assholes to each other.
Right. Exactly.
I think this is the one where Spike got banged up the first time, and she's there and she's singing, and while he's knocked out, and then she comes up. He says he motions for her to come over there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, what?" And he's like, "You sing off key," and then she punches him in his taped up ribs. He goes, and then she leaves. So that's like a great moment for them, and that's why I pushed the Faye and Spike ship. Let's go to the moon.
yeah.
I'm
Set
with
sail.
you on this one. I'm not going to lie.
It's really the only worthy ship in this show.
That's true, but they try to push the Julia shit. No.
No.
Faye
Okay.
and Spike, let's go. Yes.
Can't wait till they end up together in the live action.
If
No,
that
that's
happens,
for true.
if they change the whole plot, I'm gonna be so sad.
Bro, Spike Turner, bro.
Freak, you
I was
already
gonna say
know how
that.
this is going to go.
That's what I was gonna say. For the Netflix live action, we got they turned Light Yagami into Light Turner. So I got this right. They're gonna turn Spike Spiegel into Spike Anderson.
Yes.
That's what it's gonna be, Spike Anderson. So watch out for
Yes.
that one.
Yep. Even though Spiegel's not even
That
like,
crazy.
No, it's not like Yagami where it's definitely
Japanese.
Asian. Yes.
So, episode 6, Faye ate dog food in front of Ein because she was hungry.
That pissed me
and-
off.
And then I said Spike killed an immortal man. That's all I got.
Killed
Yeah,
an
that's-
immortal, man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The kid. I had a kid who's not a kid. That was my note.
Yeah. Same thing. He was
Yeah.
immortal.
Yes, that.
That was an interesting episode about, life and extending it and, all that shit. Blah, 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 blah. Now, one of my favorites, episode 7, VT, man. VT is so fucking cool. That
Yeah.
I like
character's
VT.
awesome. Dude, Heavy Metal Queen, she got her big ass ship. Every time she shows up, it's like. I was like, oh my god, this rules.
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was
Also,
cool
like-
that they had long haul truckers in this universe.
In space. Well, we find out they got space cowboys, space
yeah.
truckers, space samurais, space mafia. There's
Dude, they got everything you want.
Space
exactly
casinos.
space. Well, that's a given. I don't think space cowboys
Yeah.
or space samurais are really that much as common as space
I don't
casino.
know.
Come on,
That's
Tristan.
for
Now,
true.
don't let your cabins break to the show.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I like this one a lot because Spike's a real good dude, good natured dude compared to other bounty hunters. So VT liked him, thinking that he wasn't a bounty hunter. Then his radio goes off and Jet's like, "Spike, we gotta go get this bounty." Fucking dumps the egg on his head or whatever. Says I'm not paying for that. And then Spike's just like, it's all good, man.
You do your thing.
Yeah, because Spike's a chill ass dude like that. And then VT has to give him a ride anyways, helps him out, and then Spike finds out that, the reason she don't like bounty hunters very much is because her husband and her were bounty hunters, and he died on the line of duty. And so Spike's like, I get it. And so he guessed her name finally, and she's going to give him this stack of cash. Spike only takes one back and goes, keep it. I'm just like, little things like that, dude, are just why I fucking love the character of Spike. Like,
I liked the, yeah, no, I did like that whole like guess my name thing. I thought that was pretty
Oh,
cool.
that was dope. Fun little game.
yep. And then Spike just goes, "See you later, bounty hunter," and off we go to the next episode. Then we get a great quote in the beginning of this episode from Faye. Tristan will love this one.
Oh, good.
Depositing money at the casino is better than the bank. And I said, "Wow, Faye is such a hoe. She can't help herself. She just has to be Gamba." You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
And there was a dude who wants to get trained by Spike. I said that was Tristan, because he's a doofus. And he was like, "Train me, man."
God.
Spike
Wow.
tells him to be like water. Legendary Bruce Lee quote. I don't know if you guys heard that quote before.
I have.
I have, yes.
I said the aesthetic for this is great. I love the 90s aesthetic. I love the Cowboy Bebop art style. Obviously, slight disagreements there, but of course, we each have our own opinions.
Yeah, no, I
Right.
didn't. Like I said, I don't dislike it. It's just I don't know what it was for me. I don't know. It could just not having that nostalgia, that changed that opinion of mine. But I don't know.
I think you've
I don't know what it
also
was.
watched some of the best animated shows out there. Like,
That's
your
true,
sample
yeah.
size, like, you haven't seen anything that's really animated bad. Like, if you've
Yeah.
seen some
Oh, that's
bad
100%.
modern animation, you would see why people prefer the 90s style a lot of times.
That's fair. Yeah.
But
What are some examples of bad, like, of the new era?
modern Dragon Ball, so Dragon Ball Super is pretty not good. It's a lot of like niche shows, really. So like smaller shows, or a lot of shonen actioning, like Sword Art Online art style varies from episode to episode. It's a lot of those ones you haven't heard of. It's hard for me to be like this, and this. The most, like I said, the
gotcha.
most worst of them all though is modern Dragon Ball. It looks very ugly up until the new movies that came out. They started changing the art style again to stuff. It's usually stuff that just looks like everything else. Like, that's a big issue. Modern stuff
Got you.
all looks the same for the most part. Then you'll have the S tier animation, which will each look amazing. Like Demon Slayer is S plus, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Number one, best animated shit ever.
Yeah.
And then you got S tier, which I would hold Hunter x Hunter in. And then you start getting into A's and B's. That's where like the muddy stuff starts happening. Like My Hero Academia right now, outside of like the first 2 seasons before they started making movies, that's gone down in quality heavy. One Punch Man
really?
season 2 took a real heavy hit in animation, and a lot of stuff coming out in pandemic era also took a good hit because of all the stuff that's been happening.
Okay.
But going back to episode 8, I said Spike falls for bad shit every time. Like, he just falls for it every time. It's so sad. And then the guy finally gets the money for the treatment for his girlfriend or whatever.
It was.
He dies getting it. It was a sister.
Yeah.
Finally gets the money. He dies doing it. Spike has to go deliver the news. She's all sad, but she gets her eyes. So it's like, was it
win-win.
worth it?
No, not a win-win.
So that's a lot of the stories for these. Are there really sad stories? Like, they're self-contained sad stories of different people
Yeah.
and things like that. And it's very interesting and fun, and I like it. It gets you invested.
So I was gonna say, yeah, that's part of the reason I just don't have notes, because there's just no continuing plot line. It's just a lot of just I don't know, small samples of sad stories, little anecdotes. So not until the end where we get a major overline plot.
I would say the plot's for the individual characters, right? Like, the plot is what led Jet here, what led Faye here, what led Spike here, right?
Right.
With
right.
obviously the big one being what led Spike here, which we get
Yeah.
with that episode 5 when we see Vicious. We hear about the Syndicate. Obviously, Spike has some sort of ties to that Syndicate, so you're like, what's going on with that? And obviously, they slow roll that one more than the other two,
Yes.
because in episode 9 we get one more cast member, and we checked off all our boxes, boys. We got a child.
Yes, let's go.
Okay. You might hold the phone. You might wanna rephrase that.
Me?
No,
What?
Reek.
What did he say? I'm confused.
So
I
we
thought you meant
checked
me for
all
saying
the
let's go. There's a child.
boxes. We got a child.
What? Why is that bad?
That don't sound a little off?
No.
Okay.
Yo, this dude reaching, son.
Think
Yeah,
about
I
it.
don't know.
If you
Personally-
say that with no context, that's an issue.
Man, look
There's
at the
con-
mirror,
there's
you
context,
creepy ass
though.
30-year-old, 9-year-old motherfucker.
Oh my god.
All right, episode 9. We checked all of the demographics. There you go, son. You like that a little bit better there? We have a kid joining the group with Ed. We get a great quote from Faye about otakus who are demented with smelly feet living in basements. I felt personally attacked.
Oh my god.
They go to Earth, which is like a fucked up dystopia now because, you know, everyone's from different planets. They
Yes.
mentioned briefly that Spike is from Mars, which I don't know if you guys heard that.
I did hear that, yeah.
And that it's pretty shitty in Mars unless you're rich.
Right.
So that, you know, that makes sense how Spike got into the syndicate, which is kind of cool that they do
Yes.
that. I wrote down a horny comment. I said Faye got them cherry emoji.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, yes, sir.
Dude. Come on.
So
Come on.
I only had one note for
Did you
episode
actually
9, bro.
write you actually write the cherry emojis on your phone?
There's no way he didn't, Eli. Come on.
You
okay.
Come on.
So then we get Ed being a memer, and Ed literally just trolls all the time. Go ahead and check your phone, Eli.
Oh my god.
So Ed is an ultimate memer and is a super hacker, and she just memes everything. So they had to get this person a part of the group. I like about Ed is that Ed's actually gender ambiguous for a lot of this, right? Like at first you can't tell if Ed's a boy or a girl because their name is Edward, but then they confirm it's a girl. And I actually think Cowboy Bebop's pretty cool that they had some gender ambiguity with so early, like 90s, you know what I mean?
Cowboy Bebop, with a lot of the stuff that we, starting with this, but then start to see later on, was far ahead of its time.
Absolutely. That's why a lot of people love it. Like, I know now it's a little different, but if you guys watched this in 2000s, compared to everything else that was out at the time, it was a mind blower. Like, it was like,
Oh, yeah.
whoa, this is amazing. It still is amazing, but to a different degree.
I was gonna say I have a note about that later that I'll talk about. I think it was episode 18. I'll get into that a little bit, but it was definitely ahead of its time.
I think I have that as well. So, Ed joins the group after carving their face into the mountain, into Earth, I mean, which was awesome. Ed's just a troll, and I fucking love that character so much. I know, Tristan, you said early Ed wasn't for you.
My only note for episode 9 was, and I quote, "I can tell I'm about to dislike this kid."
Oh man.
That's shocking to me because you love that kind of character, that archetype.
Yeah.
You're a
No.
big Sokka guy. Yes, you do.
No,
This is the
this is
you
different.
love Sokka. You love Bodhi.
Yeah.
You
I
love the
don't
little
love
fucker
Bodhi.
who is stupid and makes stupid jokes as
Yeah,
hyperactive.
You
I-
like
I-
the hyper annoying
I
characters.
don't like Bodhi. Sokka is just a whole nother breed. Alright? And Ed pissed me off so much for the majority of this show.
Dude, I don't know. See, I don't know how that didn't. Because usually I am the one that doesn't like that character, and I had no problem with Ed that entire time.
Because Ed's fine. They're just memer.
Yeah, like I hated Bodhi. Don't get me wrong, and Sokka. I mean, Sokka was cool. He just wasn't my favorite character. But yeah, no, this I just
know,
never
he
had a
couldn't
problem with
be- He
Ed.
couldn't beat Haru.
I mean,
Sure, dude.
yeah.
I don't know. Shit. Yeah. So we get a Jet origin story about his past lover who left him. You know, that was cool. Jet doing Jet things. I wrote down on here another horny comment.
Oh boy.
Ed rubbing their head on Faye's leg is def a fucking vibe.
What?
Sir,
Wow.
I'm gonna need you to tone it back about
I.
10 notches.
It's not getting toned down. It's getting turned up.
Oh no.
So, and then I love that Jet decided he was going to handle this dolo. He goes in there, beats the dog shit out of her new boyfriend. You know what I mean? Rests him. He dips, takes the bounty, gets his W. Fuck, these bitches ain't loyal.
I can't wait till the live action just ruins Faye for you, Reek.
Oh,
It already has. Because I don't believe, you know, guys,
Oh no.
I don't really like women. I like cartoons.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Okay, so like that's my sexuality is cartoons.
Oh my
Right?
God.
Like I see women in real life. Get away from me. I love my anime waifus. That's why I have 3 body pillows.
Oh
This
my
dude
God.
is 43, trapped in a basement.
9,000 pounds of pure muscle.
Oh my God.
I wheelchair myself around.
You got 2
What is
muscles,
going on?
and we're not gonna discuss which ones they are.
My body pillows are each range from mildly used to soiled.
No.
I can't keep up the bit.
I can't do it. Losing my fucking mind over here, bro. Holy shit.
Oh man,
The
I'm
most
sorry.
unhinged thing I've ever heard.
I was gonna add and make a joke, and then you said that. I just can't even come back from that now.
So there's there's a variety of truth to that. I'll let you guys sift through that
No,
comment.
there's
There's
not
about
much
2%
truth to that at all.
truth with that, everyone.
I'll let the audience decide what's true. Okay.
Jesus.
Episode 11
got tears.
is basically Cowboy Bebop's Tale of Bonsai, where they must handle the Ebola fridge creature that Spike fucking made because he left some shit that rotted in a refrigerator.
Yeah.
I loved it because you see each of their lessons was like their philosophy. How like Faye was like, man, I don't believe in bullshit. You know what I mean? People, they're not good for nothing. Spike is over here trying to use essential oils and crystals to heal Jet. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Bro, Spike's a crystal girl. That's
Yeah,
facts.
Spike was like, all right, you put this frog in the water, you spin it 3 times, you sprinkle a little bit of powdered dust on it, and then you put a crystal over the top, shake it, you'll be fine, Jet.
He's got the Midorima lucky item of the day.
Yeah, but they're lucky medicines.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one could kill you, this one could save you. I don't know which one's which. Spike, please.
Yeah, you got a 50-50.
And Ed ate the creature because she thought it was pudding. That was fucking hilarious. Just goes, "Ang!"
That was
Fucking
wild.
legend shit.
And they killed it.
Damn, I know Tristan, when he saw Ed eat the creature, he was fuming over there, bro.
How
He
dare you!
said, fuck Ed.
Why? Why
You don't eat that!
Why did you eat that? You're so annoying.
No, it's just like why do they go through all this trouble just to have her eat it? Like what? Why?
Oh my god, that's so funny. Just clenched fists on the couch watching Ed eat the monster.
I'm doing the Arthur fist.
Yep.
Oh man, we get a Spike 2-parter about his past right here.
Oh, it was so good.
So good. So basically, find out Spike was a part of the syndicate that they mentioned all throughout the series. He left it. Vicious was one of his co-workers, I guess, or like brother basically. Not by blood, but by crime. He also had this girl Julia who he loved, who left him. So he's been kind of broken up about that. And then Faye said something to him about it, and I was like, that's why Faye is the real waifu for Spike, not Julia. But he couldn't see it, man. And then we meet Gren, who we find out Gren is actually is hermaphrodite an offensive term?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I can't speak on
Because
that.
that's what Gren is, correct? Because they have like women, he has like breasts of a woman because of the gender messed up drugs that they were forcing him to take and stuff.
As far as I know, that's an appropriate term, but I'm not sure. I'm sure it offends someone, so
if
we
fucked
apologize.
up, I just don't know a
Yeah,
better
I'm
term. I don't mean it out of hate.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Please comment a better term.
He's
'cause-
got all
so
the
we don't make that
parts.
mistake.
No, I thought he
Yes.
just had tits. I thought he had tits and a dick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah.
mixed up.
Yeah.
And that happens. So then Spike... so Faye's the one who ran to Gren, who saved her. And then I also said this was the more gender ambiguity in the series, which is cool for those people who enjoy that stuff. Gren was dope. Gren tries to get back at Vicious for, the getting arrested and then getting tortured and getting the drugs that made them like that. And so they start battling out in the skies. They die. And then Spike was going to save them, but sadly they didn't want to be saved. And then we get a cut back to the Native American people, who at the beginning of the two-parter were like, look, it's a warrior's tear falling from the sky. It means someone died or whatever. A warrior died. And then we find out the warrior that died was Gren.
Yes.
Very cool two-parter.
She does not want to be saved.
Was this the point where you guys were like, okay, Spike has the coolest backstory and is the main backstory?
I see, even after watching the whole thing, I think he has like the coolest backstory, but I liked Faye's the most, and I thought that was the most interesting. Just because like the technology thing about how she was like frozen in time, and basically she's actually 80 years old. I don't know. I felt like that was what enticed me the most, but I think Spike definitely has one of the cooler ones.
Faye definitely has a complicated and intriguing one, to say the least. Like, because you start to see what makes Faye tick, right? Like, you see why Faye puts up this persona. It's because she doesn't have a persona, so she has to make one, right? And that's cool, but we'll get more into
She's
that.
out of place, yeah. She's just in a different time.
Yeah, we'll get into that, actually, an episode after this next one. Quick episode. We get Chess Master Hex, which was a fun little side episode. This dude just playing chess. People took his technology, abused it, made the gates without his permission. Almost got people hurt and killed because of it. So he made a plan just to rob your ass. That's it.
Of course, yeah. Because why not?
He just wanted to play chess with Ed, and Ed lost after like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know how they played for 2 weeks. One game.
Hey man, Ed be doing Ed things.
Oh, and then the guy who wanted to kill Hex ends up staying at that hobo camp, whatever it was, and he was smoking dank with the hobos. I don't know if you guys caught that. It was pretty fun.
No, I did.
Just blazing it.
Because this was, I believe this was like the 4th or 5th time that we'd seen that trio of old men, which I thought that was one of my favorite parts, was just seeing those dudes randomly appear and apparently be related to every situation that Spike was getting himself into.
Hey man, they're just like the cabbage guy,
Oh, absolutely.
Like cabbages or the foaming mouth guy. They're just around. We're everywhere.
They just be doing shit.
So 15, right? So this is what Eli's talk about backstory time. Find out Faye, she is from the past. Actually, she was cryogenically frozen after a car accident, and she was let out by Whitney Haggis Matsumoto. That's his full name.
That's the one that looked like the dog.
And yes, she looks like Ein, and was giving Ein the backstory, and then Spike comes out the bathroom and goes, "Your story kind of needs some editing." And she goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" He goes, I was just sitting there listening to it. Again, this is why Faye and Spike best ship, because she still told Spike what happened, and was like, and Spike was like, "It's not true. You're bullshit. You're a liar." And she's like, "I've told the truth." He's like, "No."
I would say this was the episode like I said, it took me a long time. This was the episode that finally like got me like invested in the show totally. So this is like when I say that it took me a while, it took me a while.
I mean, to be fair, it's only 26 episodes, so a while. It's not that many episodes compared to other shows.
I would say, that's 20-minuters.
Yes. So then they end up finding out that the guy that's Jet caught was Whitney Haggis Matsumoto. Faye does some stupid shit and tries to save him because she wants to find out her life story.
So stupid.
Which I don't know why she couldn't have just tortured him in the Bebop instead.
Yeah, especially with like a vengeance against him already. It wouldn't have been that crazy to think about.
Yeah, but she loved him before he was, a giant Tortuga whale.
Oh my god.
So that happened, and then the Black Doctor shows up, and you find out somehow that's his uncle, which...
Yeah, what?
I guess okay. Whitney Haggis Matsumoto is Whitney half-black Matsumoto.
Yeah, of course. Makes sense.
And then Spike actually grabs her at the end of this episode, not physically, but like talks to her, and he's like, "You need to let that shit go. Like, you have a future ahead of you. Live that, because the past won't change." You know what I mean? And that was pretty cool, Spike. But little did we know, Spike himself has been struggling with moving on from the past this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit hypocritical.
But that's why he told her, because he's trying still.
Exactly.
But,
yeah.
you know, he fully can't. Episode 16 is a noir cop film we get of Jet's past as a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
But Faye, I always wrote down before that, Faye always be complaining about something. We got no food.
Yeah.
We got no fuel. We got no this. We got no that.
A shower.
Yeah, no shower. Fix the shower, Jet. Damn, man. And we find out how Jet lost his arm was that his own partner betrayed him and shot him in the arm.
That's crazy.
And then Jet kills him. But then they find out that his partner wasn't going to kill Jet at the end. He just wanted to finally be done with his life. Because he only loaded one bullet in the chamber. And Jet walks away. That almost concludes Jet's backstory.
Almost, yeah. I mean, we get more later.
Dude, we get an Ed episode. Okay? This episode, Tristan, I don't know how you see this and you say, I don't like Ed.
Is this the doggy on the shrooms?
Yeah, man!
Hell yeah.
This episode ruled! Ed's music when walking was so fire. Like, you're just walking, it was that rap music when Ed was walking down the street. They were like, ba 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 ba. It was like, boop, 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 boop. It reminded me of like Knuckles from Sonic Adventure 2's music.
Oh my god.
And then, I also said this anime does black people pretty good. Because I don't know, you guys haven't seen a lot of animes. Animes are not kind to black people sometimes.
I remember, which one was that we watched? Was it Silent Voice? And the black guy came at the end?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Baby by Bust.
Big lips, like, usually muscular, bald. Like, it's all caricatures, but I mean, there's not a lot of black people in Japan, so I'll cut them like 20% slack.
Yeah, I guess
but
that's fair.
it's still fucking weird. But this show does it pretty well, you know? These dudes look like normal people. they got dreads and stuff,
Weird.
but they look normal.
Oh my god, making them look normal? That's unheard of.
Yes. The dude's got I love the coffin bit where he pulls upon him. You killed my brother with your bullshit ass mushroom. So now I've been carrying this coffin with me for every day, waiting to kill you. And the semi runs it over. And he goes, what? That was great. And then he takes off and Ed chases him and stuff. It was great. Ed and Ein start tripping off. Well, Ed doesn't eat them. Ein eats them, and everyone else eats mushrooms and just starts losing their fucking mind. Spike starts walking up infinite stairs. Faye's swimming in the toilet. Jet, I don't even remember what Jet was doing.
I don't remember.
He was talking to the
dude. I just
bonsai
remember
trees, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He was
that's
talking to
right.
trees. He's like, man, I want to smoke this tree.
Dude, Ein was going the craziest, bro. Dude was just swimming.
He's like, whoa. Ed goes and then finally decides, I'm going to take him down. 1v1s him, tackles him off the train. And then he goes, I'll give you these mushrooms if you don't take me. And Ed was like, how much these mushrooms worth? And he's like, they're worth like 150 a pop. And she was like, okay. Takes the mushrooms. They were fucking shiitake mushrooms. Not even good mushrooms. So now the group's eating mushrooms.
Tristan's just clenched fists the
How
entire
dare
episode.
you eat mushrooms?
Dog, it ain't even like that.
I just like mess with you.
Whatever you say, 39-year-old man.
Whatever you say, space cowboy.
Dude, I love that bit so much. See you, space cowboy.
Oh, so good.
Such a good bit. And then they change it for certain episodes too. I don't know if you guys picked up on
I saw that.
I did, yes.
Yeah, there was a space cowgirl on one of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the other ones were, but I did notice it changed a couple times.
Yeah, the last one was my favorite one. So we get episode 18. Spike gets a VHS package from the mail. They don't figure out who sent him the package or what, but VHS. And the VHS has Faye's memories on it. It's like a time capsule from when she was younger. And Spike was just ripping the tape apart, kicking VHSs around, slamming Betamax fucking machines. Like, the dude was not having it with Spike.
Not to mention,
What the fuck?
that dude was horn dogging over Faye.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's not really what it was. That was the tape, jackass.
Yeah. I said the whole we're from the future, so therefore we don't know
I'm
what
the
a
one horn
VHS tape
dogging over
thing.
man. Faye.
Oh,
The whole plot line aged very well.
I agree.
Yeah, so it was just like, pass, and then she has to pretend that she's not as interested in it as she is, but she's like really obsessed with that tape that we find out later, and it was pretty cool, all that stuff. Episode 19, we just got a background on how Spike got his ship and where he got it from.
Yeah, that one was pretty decent.
Just a simple episode.
It also
20.
Also, they alluded to the fact that there's still baseball in whatever they said it was like 2066 or 2068 or something.
Yeah.
So
the Blue Sox.
Yeah, that was
Blue
interesting.
Sox. That dude. I think he was doing the Raymond. Who's on first base, who's on second base.
Yeah. No, who?
You're on second base. So
you are on second base.
Episode 20. I don't remember. Something about Spike.
Oh, that. Yeah, he got his ass whooped by a clown.
Oh yeah, that dude was actually pretty menacing. Not gonna lie.
He was. I would
He was
agree.
just killing dudes. But Spike's a shark, so Spike didn't give a fuck. I like this one. Again, this episode's a great episode to show how much Faye was worried about Spike. She was like, stop trying to go and get yourself killed. And he's like, no, I think I will. Because I want to win. And Spike, he keeps winning these fights, man. Close fights, but he banged on this little fucking clown dude, kicked his ass. But Faye still came and tried to save him, though, even though he won on it by himself. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the writers noticed that.
Yeah, they did. I wish they noticed it more, so.
Sam.
Fuck. Episode 21. So, Jet needs to go to prison for being horny for a teenager.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
Tristan,
No, that's
okay,
true.
you cannot pull what you have pulled so far this episode, and then we get to Jet saying, I'm old enough to be your boyfriend, and then not be, like, sus.
No, that was sus. But, he...
Yeah, you got nothing to say. Don't even try.
Hey, you know what? You shut your mouth right now. He was not trying to pull that card at all. He made that very clear, because everyone else tried to pull that card on him, and he was like, not even a little bit.
I know you empathize with him as a 39-year-old yourself, but
Sure, dude.
you gotta move on from teenagers, bro.
You gotta move on from cartoons, Reek.
Never.
Dude, what is going on,
So-
bro? I knew this was going to happen.
You can't. I also wrote down the Kid Cudi verse. Don't fuck up the feng shui. I don't know if you guys heard that song.
Yes.
Great
yes,
song.
Yes.
Don't fuck up the feng shui. I see everything a
Yes.
movie do. Yeah, that shit rules.
Yes.
Episode 22. I call this the Spike Brothers. We find Spike's long lost brother, Andy, who looks exactly like him for some reason. And he's a cowboy doing cowboy things.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you guys feel about Andy?
He was an Andy.
It was, Andy. I don't know. He was just kind of there.
Okay.
I wasn't,
Well, fuck Andy,
nothing
right?
crazy.
I liked
But
the Teddy Bomber.
I will point out this as well. Faye wanted a date with Andy, and Andy looks exactly like Spike.
Yeah.
just gonna put it
yeah,
out there. I'm
well,
just gonna put it
I
out
don't know. Andy was a little bit different.
Andy was built
Attire-wise, yes.
Hair, face,
Yeah, but he, kind of blonde, though.
but okay, the color, but he's got the same hairstyle, same facial
Yeah,
structure.
no, that's true.
He's just a
I
Spike.
didn't really... I don't know. I mean, obviously, he was just kind of inserted to, make viewers not like him and want the face ship with Spike, but I don't know. I didn't really care for him, obviously. But, I mean, he was just kind of there.
You know what I did like, though? Hippie Jet. The voice he put on and his whole bit with the hair, he's like, far out, man. I was like, dude, Jet is awesome. What is he doing right now? I love Jet. He said the thing. Andy said the thing. I don't know if you guys caught that. He
No.
said, see, space cowboy.
Yep.
And he
Oh,
took off.
yes, I did
Yep.
see that.
And Andy decided, I'm not a cowboy no more. I'm OJ. No, he's a space
Oh,
samurai.
my God.
So Andy's
Wow.
now Matsumoto, the space samurai. And then at the end it says, see you, space samurai. That was lovely.
I did see that one.
We get
That's
the
a good
Colt
time.
episode.
Which
Oh, sorry,
one?
go for it. You had a little bit.
Oh yeah, I was
Which
gonna
one?
say the Teddy Bomber though, one of the better villains in this show. He made some great points, like we were talking about earlier, far ahead of its time. He was just ragging on capitalism, I was like, this dude is absolutely spitting right now.
Well, see, I had the next episode they were spitting. 23. They were spitting in 23. So, we get the cult. We found the cult is by this kid who's trapped in a mind thing because he's a vegetable now. He says a line in this episode. He goes, God didn't create humans. Humans created God. And I said, yo, he's spitting right now. I also said, if this came out now, instead of TV controlling people, it would absolutely be social media, and it would be perfect.
Oh, 100%.
If he said social media controls you and everything, it would have been
easily. Yeah, but I mean, there was nothing in, what was this, 98, 99? To really,
so
there was
TV
nothing really
was
to compare.
the closest at the time.
Because Facebook hadn't even came out yet, I don't think.
No.
Internet was barely a thing at that point.
I was going to say, Facebook was like 2006? Maybe?
No, because YouTube was first, wasn't it? So Facebook would be like, 04?
I don't remember, to be honest, but it's, that Facebook was the first. That's all I know.
Like big social media. Well, MySpace.
Well, I thought Facebook was still before that, though.
No.
I know MySpace was popular first, though, for sure. I also like the bit where Jet and Ed pretended to be father and daughter, and that Ed was crazy, and that's why she needed to see her brother one last time, and just did the backstory to the guard, and the guard started crying and wiping tears. He's like, no, you go on ahead. You go on ahead. That was great.
Jet is goated.
Absolutely. And when you think about it, this kid this poor person, turned into a vegetable. He just wanted people to feel like how he felt, bodiless, couldn't control, couldn't move or anything, had to live in cyberspace. So that's why he tricked them. Kind of sad story, bro. Again, another one of those sad individual stories.
Yeah. I mean, like it says, it makes sense from a perspective.
Damn right. So, Jet's story's wrapped up. Now we gotta wrap up 2 more people's stories.
Look.
What?
We ain't gotta go there. We don't need to do it.
I don't understand what you're saying, but okay. Faye and Ed end up going on an adventure because Faye keeps watching the Earth tape. She wants to go to Earth and try to see if she can find where she's from. You know what I mean? They end up going to an orphanage, find out Ed was living at an orphanage before she moved in with the people on the Bebop. They talk about it. They hand Ed a book, and they say, this is your father. While that's going on, Faye is running around this orphanage and finds an older woman sitting there. And she goes, Faye, is that you? And Faye goes, what? She goes, it's me. I was a part of your graduating class. And then Faye starts to unlock things from her past.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
And it was crazy because now we know both Ed and Faye are both from Earth. Right?
Right.
And for Faye, it was even more crazy because she tries to go to her childhood home, right? Because she had the memories of herself running up those things, the fountain, the little statue there, and we end up seeing how that is later. So Ed ends up finding her father, and he's just as weird as Ed. So we understand why Ed's like Ed.
That's for true.
Yeah, no, that guy was interesting.
Because he called her Francois or something. And then
he said, my son or daughter
whatever.
whatever.
I forget.
Yeah.
It was just like, it makes sense that these dudes are crazy. And that happens. Faye ends up going to the ruins of her childhood home. She remembers the layout and everything now. She remembers. So she draws where her bed used to be and lays there just to try to feel like she felt when she was a kid and when she was in her own time.
Yeah.
And then Ed... Well, both Spike and Jet's calling for people to come eat. Spike's not there. Faye's not there. Ed's not there. Spike's looking through a window. And Jet comes up and is like, why are you acting like that, Spike? He's like, look, take a look or whatever. And it's Ed painted the Bebop and said bye or whatever with Ed's face on it. I did not remember this at all. And I'm not going to lie to you. This kind of fucked me up.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was really sad to see Ed leave. Like, Ed go with Ein, and Ein was like, Ed was like, you can't go with me, Ein. And Ein was, wanted to be with Ed. So it's like, we can go together. And Ed goes. And then Faye doesn't come back. So, they thought Faye was gone could have been gone for good. And at the end, it says fucking, see you somewhere, somehow, space cowgirl or whatever. And the end screen. And I was like, That fucked me
Yeah,
up.
that
It was
kinda
the last
that
few
kinda
episodes
sucked.
leading up to this that I started coming around on Ed.
Man, I mean, you guys probably weren't as invested as I was, but that fucked me up.
No, not really. I mean, I don't know. I obviously liked Ed like as a group character, but I didn't care for her as much as to I don't know to like be super sad that she was gone. Like, but that's I don't know. That's most of the characters for this though. For me, it just I don't know. I'll get into it a little bit later once we finish our talk about the episodes. But
I was definitely bummed to see Ed go at the end of it. I didn't want to see the group break up. I like the group dynamic that they had going.
I will say this: it makes me happy that Ed was gone, though, because now Ed won't know what happened to Spike.
Yes.
yeah, that and now Ed gets to live possibly a better, healthier life instead of just bounty hunting with a bunch of adults.
I'm not so sure about that with her dad.
Well, yeah, with her dad, yeah, who knows? But
That dude's crazy.
yeah, hopefully, she gets out of there.
So we get the last two episodes, and instantly they're getting fucking shot up. We get a Vicious thing. Vicious tried to do a coup in the Syndicate to take over. It didn't work out. So now they're going after anyone who's ever been a part of Vicious's sect of the Syndicate, which includes Spike, which includes Julia. So that starts happening. Spike and Jet get shot up at a fucking place. Jet gets bang-ranged in the leg. He's injured now. He's out of it because of Spike. Spike's like, I gotta go do this, man. And he's like, don't do it. And Spike does it anyways. Spike calls up Faye, who they haven't seen since Ed left. Says, I need your help right now. And she's like, no, why don't you just go get Jet? And she's like, well, Jet can't help me with the fucked up leg, so I need your fucking help. Stop pouting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That happens. 2 seconds later, who does Faye see?
Oh
Julia.
my God.
She
was
comes
wild.
and helps Julia out, and that happens. And they're driving, and Faye asks, what's your name? She says, Julia. And then Faye, gets shocked. Julia drops her back off the ship. She says, tell Spike when you talk to him next, meet me at the place. And she drives off, and Faye's like, how do you know I know Spike?
Yeah.
Which she would know because when Faye got kidnapped by Vicious and them, and Spike came to get her, So she probably heard from
Yes,
Vicious or
yeah.
through the grapevine.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the best deduction.
That now makes more sense.
Yes. So Faye comes back. She tells Spike about Julia and says, yeah, she's looking for you. She's here. Gotta go get her, I guess. And then they're fight on the ship. Spike takes off to go see Julia. She pulls a gun on him instantly. That's the end of the first part of the 2-parter. Final episode. Big journey. Last episode 26. Spike and Julia are talking about what happened, how she was supposed to leave the Syndicate with him. She did not, because Vicious threatened to kill her and him if she didn't, so that's why they separated. They go to see the woman that Spike saw very early in the series, who we called Anna, I think, or Annie. Short for Anastasia. She's been shot by, Vicious's people or whatever, because we see that Vicious won. He actually beat the coup, and he completed it, and he took over. But he still wants Julia and Spike dead. She dies there, and then Julia also gets shot in that commotion, and she dies. Spike fights him off, returns to the Bebop for some tough scenes. Some really good emotional scenes, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think it was good character building.
We get the first one with Jet, where him and Spike have a meal one last time. Jet tells Spike one of his old stories, one of his, symbolic stories, like always. And then Spike returns the favor for once and gives him one about an orange cat who lived a bunch of lives, had a bunch of owners, died a million times, till he met a white cat, fell in love, and then she died. Well, then, because of the sadness from her dying, that orange cat died too, but he didn't come back this time. He stayed dead. Spike got the gist of it, of what was going on from that story.
Right.
And it was don't.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell Spike not to do it, because they already had that conversation, about don't do it. And Spike decides, he's got to go finish this or handle what's left to handle.
Yep.
He goes to leave. Faye puts a gun to his head. She says, where do you think you're going? You don't have to go. She's dead already. It's over. You could just leave it alone and leave, And Spike's like, come here. Shoves his face in her face, right? Look in my eyes, right? one of my eyes is fucking fake. I can't, I can see out of one eye. That's a crazy revelation, especially knowing how strong what Spike can do.
Right.
That
right.
he has a fucked eye.
Yeah.
This whole time. That no one knew about. And she's like, I have a fucked up eye. I've only been seeing, I've been seeing the past in one eye and seeing the present in the other. So I couldn't. And then she's like, well, you told me to move on from the past. He's like, well, I'm a hypocrite. I can't. So I'm not going to I'm not going there to die. We get an absolute G quote from Spike. I'm not going there to die. I'm going there to find out if I'm still alive.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I didn't write that one down, but I definitely.
As soon as
That was a
he
good
said
quote
that, I
from him.
knew what was going down.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Me being the
Spoiled.
dummy head spoiler alert, person that I am, I already knew, but
Yes. So Spike's right hand's brother, Shen, who has been Spike's old right hand betrayed him for Vicious. Then he couldn't kill Spike, so Vicious killed his old right hand. Now his right hand's brother is helping him to take down Vicious. They infiltrate the compound. They got the Uzis, the AKs, the guns. They're killing motherfuckers. Shen gets shot. Shen's like, nah, go get Vicious for me. They shoot. Spike shoots his way up through a bunch of motherfuckers, murdering dudes left and right. Gets to the fucking Vicious. They start fighting with guns and swords and shit. And then they switch. Like they clash. Spike uses his gun to deflect the sword. They both lose their shit. Vicious gets the gun. Spike gets the sword. Boom! They swing at the same time. Spike cuts up Vicious. Vicious shoots Spike. Spike's fine for now, but heavily damaged. He's walking out of the Syndicate compound. Bunch of Syndicate shoulders are waiting for him right outside. But they're like, whoa, he beat Vicious. He's alive? Question mark. And Spike
For now.
walks down the stairs, and he looks fucked. And he goes, puts his hand up with the finger gun, and he goes, bang. Spike collapses to the fucking ground, and they start playing us out, and that ends the show on this image of Spike on the ground having killed Vicious, killed a bunch of people in the Syndicate. No Jet, no Faye, no Ed, just Spike by himself.
Yes.
Fucking fantastic ending. Would I rather have Spike alive?
Yeah.
Yes. But if you're gonna kill him, you killed him in a fucking epic, beautiful way.
Absolutely.
I agree. I definitely think that was the way to do it.
I was definitely dissatisfied with the ending, but they did it well.
I mean, the whole point of Bebop was figuring out your past and settling your score with it. And Spike had to settle his, but his led to his death, right? Mm-hmm. So,
Yes.
because Faye handled her past, Ed handled her past, Jet handled his past. Spike's was the last one to go, but he died doing it.
Hey, sometimes that's what it takes too. I mean, he still got the win in the end of the day too, which is why I say that if they were gonna do it, that's the way to do it.
He pretty much killed. Well, Vicious already killed the Syndicate's main leaders, and he killed their new leaders. So the Syndicate's pretty much fucked.
Yes.
Like if you listen to the whole show, you pay attention. Jet's problems came from the Syndicate. Part of Faye's came from the Syndicate.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like Jet lost his arm to shit that happened with the Syndicate. Jet's partner was a part of the Syndicate. All that shit happened with the Syndicate, right? Spike basically dismantled that whole shit. So he practically freed the galaxy from the grips of the Syndicate now.
Yeah.
So that's how he died. If you're gonna die, holy shit, that's what a way to go. You fucking basically saved a bunch of people by killing a bunch of people. And it's good, man. Like I said, I think the show can't be graded episode by episode, but rather as a whole.
Right.
Because it's an experience, in my opinion. It's not so much a story; it's an experience.
Well, yeah, definitely.
And that's why I really like it. It's super beautiful. It's super pretty. Good character writing. Good characters, in my opinion. And it wraps up, and you're like, "Hey, man, there's not really much more to do. Once it's done, there's no more questions really, right? You know what happened with Spike? What happened with Jet? Ed's living with their father now, so
exactly.
That's it.
Everything wraps up. Everything ends.
But obviously, I wasn't as upset because I knew it was coming, and I had seen this before, and I remembered the whole scene. But I was still like, damn, throwing up for my guy Spike. But the Ed one fucked me way worse.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's fair, especially if you didn't really remember that one.
So, guys, first watch of Cowboy Bebop. How'd you feel about it?
I very much enjoyed
Tristan,
it.
you go for
I
it.
very
Homie.
much enjoyed it. It was so much fun to watch. I, of course, on the side was like a little critical at first of how there wasn't much of an overarching plot. In the end, obviously, there was a plot they had been setting up, but it didn't really rear itself most of the time, except when they specifically went into it. But I still thought that was really cool. I like the concept of the show, and like you've mentioned, how they're dealing with their past and everything, and how they have to work through all that, and it's for each one of them. It's not just about Spike's past and everyone's involved. Each one of them has some sort of interesting past, and they have to work through that. So I very much enjoyed this show.
I think this is going to be like a monster situation for me because that show has grown on me like a lot just thinking about the plot line and stuff. But just watching it, I don't know, because it's not like a length situation or anything. I just never really got as invested in this as I have with other shows. It definitely wasn't bad. Like I did like the show, and it's obviously really well done. It's just I never really got that like appeal from it, and I never really got super invested into it. It could be the lack of the overarching plot for a long period of time until the ending, because like I said, I really do like the ending. But I don't know what it is for me. I did like it. It just wasn't as strong as some of the shows we've watched.
I knew that was going to happen with the overarching plot thing, because that's the thing me and you have talked about a lot with certain shows, is that we're not a big fan of something that doesn't have an overarching plot. I think going into this, I knew the overarching plot, so that kind of helped me with that versus a first watch. So obviously I love the show a little bit more, and it's near and dear to my heart because I remember everything pretty much, and I love the characters. So, I expected a varied amount of takes. I know Tristan does like, does like shows that don't have overarching sometimes. I know I vary, especially with things I've seen before. And I know Eli doesn't necessarily enjoy things with overarching plot to as much of extent as something with one.
Right.
So it was a good time. I will gladly be the first to give a number. This show gets a 9 out of 10 for me.
That's fair. Tristan?
I personally am going to give it an 8.5. There was a couple things that I didn't care for as much, and although it was done really well, I was just still kind of dissatisfied with the ending. And also it hurt me a bit emotionally.
That was a tough ending.
Hey man, that's brownie points for me.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But no, it was a really good show, so I enjoyed it.
I touched on some stuff earlier. I think it's just going to have to sit with me. I'm going to give it a 6 for now. I'm going to come back to it because I think I gave Monster like a 6 or a 6.5 as well, and that, just thinking about it now, definitely deserves at least a 7 from me. So this one will probably grow over time. I'll remember the positives of it and kind of put the pieces together for me, but it definitely was not a bad show at all. It just wasn't my style.
Monster got a 5 and 5 from you. 5.5.
Oh, did it? Yeah, no, it's at least 6.5, 7 for me now, just thinking about it.
I think we've done that, though, with some shows where we've gone back and been like, that's way better than that, like, in hindsight.
Or a lot worse, so the Lock and Key Season 1.
Yeah, and I think even some shows that were great to us got even better. Like, Dark got a 10. And we were like, shit, Dark might be an 11, like, later on.
Yeah, no, there's literally, thinking about it now, I mean, there's just nothing that's touched it. We've given a couple things a 10. Like, it just is unfair to Dark to not have more than a 10,
Yeah. But, yeah, so I think, we'll see how we come around to it. Could be better, could be worse.
Yeah, well, definitely, it'll be interesting to see where it goes for me, because, like, you guys both enjoyed it, so I did too, it just not to that extent yet.
Absolutely. So, to our fans and listeners out there, next week we'll be watching Shang-Chi, I think. Hopefully that's out like we thought it was.
Yes. I think so.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It should be Shang-Chi unless we fucked up the release dates for that. And then
Very
the week
possible.
after, we get to experience Cowboy Bebop again, guys, in live-action form.
I heard it's only like 10 episodes.
Yes, 10 hours.
I don't know if that's true.
10 hour longs.
Okay, got it. That'll be great.
Yep. Don't you just love live-action anime stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't. That was sarcasm, I promise, people.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us today. Thanks for hearing us talk about Cowboy Bebop and the things we've been watching. I'm going to remind you guys we have a Twitter at BINGEBOIS. We have an Instagram at DABINGEBOIS, because we are dumbasses, so we do DA. Replace the Y's with an I in boy because we are special.
Yes.
That's about it.
Very. Yeah.
So to close out today, I want you guys to remember my name is Enrique.
I have been Eli.
My name is Tristan.
And I want you to remember that I would rather be a cartoon, and cartoon women are superior to real women because real women have hateful feelings.
Oh my god.